I have just had a tweet. So yes, we have.
You've had a tweet. Welcome one, welcome all, and I see live on our new YouTube studio dashboard. Fantastic. I am your host, Adam Steele, and with me, as always, is Mr. Liam Wright.
Hello, sir.
And this is the weekly tech news and guitar news, music production news podcast, where we talk about all things that have come up in the past week or so. This is the Hop Pole Position, coming to you live. And we cut back to us. How are you this week, sir?
Good. Busy as always.
Loud.
Oh.
Take it down a touch.
What the?
It's just you being loud, that's what it is.
It's not me being loud. It's you being rubbish. You don't know how to record audio.
Touche, salesman.
Is that any better?
I think so. It looks right on the meters now.
Yeah, I am good. Been back to London, far too much. I've not played any Dota this, so I've got,
Have you just got a really sensitive volume knob on that? Because you've gone down 20 dB.
Jesus Christ! I don't know.
There we go.
I have this is what I have on my headphones. I can press the buttons and it doesn't seem to do much usually.
Okay, well that's good now.
Okay, cool. What was I saying? So yeah, I've not even played any computer games this week, so it's terrible.
That must be terrible for you. I feel your pain.
And just pure work and no play, but no, it's good. How about you?
Good. I've had a very, very, very busy week. Today I've been home alone with Ivy. My other half's got away for a conference.
Okay.
So I've been daddy do everything today. So we've just had a bath and bedtime. And I say we've had a bath because I put her in the water and I got a bath by proxy. and yeah, oh boy. I've been full of a cold and a flu. So if my voice sounds a bit kind of scratchy, I completely lost my voice Monday, Tuesday.
Okay.
So I've been doing nothing but editing mostly this week. And we have a very big announcement for our viewers.
We do?
Yes, we do.
Nah.
Last week, yeah.
Nothing
Do you want to do the honours?
There's nothing going on.
No, before we make the big announcement...
We're going to Costco. Is that it?
We're going to Costco. Yes,
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
For those new Costco mince pies, they're amazing, like the size of your head. You can get like 12 bagels for like $2. Yeah, before, just as a little hook and tease, before we give you the big announcement, I want to ask all our viewers to do us a huge favour and hit the like button. Last week, I didn't ask, and because I generally don't, I'm not one of those usually like, share and subscribe kind of people, but we only had 2 people like it, and 3 horrible people hit the dislike button, so we actually got like, yeah, boo indeed. So if our lovely viewers could do us a huge favour and press that button, that would help us out so that we don't end up in the same position, because I do think that does actually affect whether it gets shared out to people if it's overwhelmingly negative.
No, as far as I'm aware, any engagement is engagement, but if it's more negative than positive, maybe.
Yes, I think that's what it is. I've heard tell of this. I mean, if you get 1,000 likes and 100 dislikes, they all count positively, definitely. But yeah, it's the percentage, I believe. No one can ever truly know apart from the people at the YouTubes. And yeah, what you can't see on screen today, you may, I mean, this is entirely to the listeners' discretion. You may think that my voice sounds even nicer than last week. And if you do, that's because I've switched out the ID4 that I was using, the very trusty Audient ID4, for the Audient Sono. And I've pressed all the magical buttons so that I'm actually running this through the valve section on the Sono. And it sounds like this.
It does sound good.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago I had some weird randomer in the comments section after the video had gone live, trying to give me a big essay about how I was talking into this microphone wrong, because apparently this is a condenser microphone and I'm supposed to talk into it like this, which as you can hear it's quite clearly not. And then so I set the guy straight and said, look, this is a Rode pod mic. It's an end address dynamic microphone. It doesn't need phantom power. You don't talk into it from the side. My positioning of the mic is exactly right because this is a podcast. It's not a film ADR script. But yeah, that stuck in my craw a little bit. And then a few days later, the same guy started putting horrible stuff on other videos, so I just blocked him. Because we don't need that kind of negativity in our lives.
Well,
Especially not.
I mean, constructive criticism is one thing, but like, if you're just wrong and you can't accept that, then that's a different thing. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's interesting that essentially the mic looks like you should talk into the side of it, so you assume that that's what it is.
Yeah.
As opposed to actually knowing your stuff.
That's it. I mean, it looks a lot like a shortened version of an Electro Voice RE20, which anyone who's ever done any sound with voiceovers has seen thousands of those things, and they look a bit like this. But yeah, hi to everybody in chat, and welcome.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for liking the video, because it looks like they have, including me. That's what we're one over the number.
Fantastic. That's very much appreciated. So, big announcement. I'm drinking Guinness. That's not the announcement. Feel free to drink along if you are of legal drinking age and inclined to do so. So the announcement is we are going to be at NAMM. Woo! I'm slightly terrified and very, very excited.
I'm very terrified because I've never left Europe.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I've spent some time in the content of Northern America, mostly in the Canada. But
Canada.
Yes. That's what you call Canadians, right?
I have no idea. I only just learned they existed, and the rest of the world, I thought it was just the British Isles.
Yeah, to communicate with them, you've got to put A at the end of every sentence.
Cut your head in half so it moves separately, I hear.
Hello, Terence. Hello, Philip.
What popular culture tells me, anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, we weren't going to go because we couldn't quite afford it, to be honest. I mean, from where we are in the UK, flying to the west coast of America is not particularly cheap.
Or, but close. It's like 18 hours, some of the flights.
Yeah, it's a long flight both ways. But enough people that we work with have agreed to help us out in whatever way they can.
And we were invited by NAMM.
We were invited.
NAMM asked us to go, so...
Yeah, which is amazing and also kind of terrifying in a different way, that it's like, they think we're somebody now? Yes.
They think that you might be somebody. I'm just there with it for a camera. But,
the royal we.
Yes, but I do. In all honesty, these sort of trips are like my favourite things to do, where I get just to be camera bitch boy again and get told what to shoot. I do enjoy that. It's a lot of fun. So following you around and making you trying to look like a celebrity.
I'll be trying to get you to run my life a little bit for those few days, because I won't know which way's up by the time we start working.
I'm just shout things at you, telling you what to do. It sounds fun.
Yeah. Going live in 4, 3. Such is the Wayne's World joke. But
Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2.
Yes. And that's going to be a hell of a week. So, yeah, there's lots of products going to be coming out, some of which I know about and can't tell you yet because of NDAs and all that kind of stuff. I can't even tell you who. I'll just keep it vague. I mean, of course things are coming out at NAMM. That's what NAMM's for. It is literally the Christmas of the audio industry. So if there's anybody that we know from the channel who's going to be at NAMM, feel free to give us a shout and see if we can meet up at some point during that week, because I'd love to hear from you all in person, because a lot of our viewership.
We'll have a Hot Ball Show meet and greet. We'll tweet the location of it. It's me and you just both sat there with little party hats on.
Yeah, at the Cheesecake Factory.
Yes.
Something like that. That'd be amazing.
Is that a real place?
It is. There are lots of them.
Oh, I thought it was just a thing in Big Bang. Okay, cool.
No, it's a real place.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's go there and eat cheesecake.
Absolument.
But yeah, no, so we're super excited. Super exciting. Being invited by NAMM and going and seeing some cool people and do some cool interviews. And yeah, no, we're trying to figure out now exactly what content. We've got some content planned. Some that we need to shoot with partners. And obviously we're going to just do a general sort of vlog of the whole sort of trip, and then we're now just trying to figure out sort of additional content. So I mean, if anyone's got any ideas for content they'd like to see of us at NAMM, feel free to send it across and get involved, because at the moment we're just trying to work out our schedule, because we've got 3 or 4 days.
Yes.
We're going Wednesday, so we'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or 3 days, and then half of the other 2 days. Well, a couple of hours of the days, because 18 hours takes much of your day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So.
I might just get a shirt made with the Reaper logo on it, find the Avid booth, and just film me laughing at them for 5 minutes solid.
No, just film yourself mixing a track on a Raspberry Pi on Reaper.
Next to their stand.
Next to their stand. Well, streaming it live via YouTube. I'm sure that's possible. I'm sure you can make it happen.
Yeah. Anything is possible.
We do. So, actually, that's one thing. We probably do actually need to get some of the t-shirts sorted.
Yes.
Thinking about it.
What, the ones with my face on?
Yes. Yes. It's going to have Football Studio on the front, and on the back it's just going to be your face. And you can't stop me. You can't stop me.
That is quite true. I cannot stop you.
I mean, I'm not going to be on camera, so.
Yeah.
Nah, it's going to be super cool. Dead excited.
I mean, I could wear shirts like that and then wear my suit jacket over the top. And then when it gets too warm, I'll take the jacket off and then all hell will break loose. Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, what a week. We've been trying to sort all that out, as well as a very big production.
Yes.
And, yeah.
We're not announcing that yet, are we?
I don't think so. I'm going to talk to the organisers and see when we can talk about it, because it's... Yeah. They've now seen a large amount of it, so...
Okay, cool. So that's also part of the reason we're going to NAMM, is because of the big production that we're working on at the moment is in collaboration with someone that's going to be there. So...
Yeah, luckily that doesn't narrow it down very much.
No, exactly. It's pretty much the whole of the music industry. So we're going there to work on some of that. And then hopefully in the new year, we'll have a big announcement. And we'll be shooting some content for that at NAMM as well, no doubt. So
no doubt.
As in promotional material for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big launch. In the new year. Super exciting.
Yeah. So, yeah. Let's talk about the news. I thought it'd all just be countdowns this week and no actual news, but as it turns out, there's a lot more happened this week than I thought. And I purposefully excluded NAMM news because there's a lot of non-news of things maybe coming out. This may be coming out, so I've tried to avoid that as best I can. And there was still quite a lot to go at. So I suppose we'd better change over to this screen and talk about it. Oh yeah, Marty V in chat says you need to get visas. Yeah, technically we do. Being from a country that is not America or Canada, apparently Canadians don't need visas. Yeah, but that's absolutely fine. That's
you're sorting that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm sorting that.
Because the whole passport thing I sent to TSA, so you got that right.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. Cool.
So, yes.
Should all be fine.
Yeah.
Charlie's brother lives in San Francisco, so he can do just I'm visiting my brother, so he's as well, even without the pass.
Cool. Yeah, no problem. So, let's look at this. Free reverb for everybody. My friends Arturia are offering their new EMT 140 plate for free.
Ooh.
So they're celebrating 20 years of Arturia. And I do remember using Arturia software almost 20 years ago. And at the time it was very, very impressive compared to what anybody else could do. You could run maybe 2 of their plugins and your computer would just scream. But it sounded great. But yeah, so this is one of my favourite reverbs of all time, the EMT 140. It's based on a plate reverb, which is a giant metal plate hung in midair that's about 1.5 meters tall and about 3 meters wide. This entire unit, the real one, weighs over 300 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's 600-700 pounds. And they sound incredible. Motown is basically founded on one of these. All the classic Beatles stuff with loads of echo. One of these, you know, I think Abbey Road have still got theirs because it's just that sound. And so there's extra features on here that bring it up to date, modern wise, like scooping out the low end and putting a pre-delay on it and all that kind of clever stuff that we do now. You don't have to do that separately. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool indeed. Works with any VST, AX, or AU compatible recording software. So, Logic and Cubase and Reaper, of course, and Pro Tools and all of it. So, grab this while you can. Get yourself an Arturia login and get this for free. Because I've not had a chance to download it yet. The news only came in yesterday. But from Arturia, it's going to be good. So I'll definitely be adding.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
I'll be adding that to my my list of plugins from Arturia. I'm in the middle of making a review video for their Audio Fuse 8 Pre, which I've showed on the channel before. And as much as I've not finished editing that, I will say on record now that interface is incredible. I'm very, very, very happy with it. So, yeah.
Stuff.
Exact details will be forthcoming, but safe to say, I like it a lot. So, here's something that I found someone talking about today. So, Behringer again. It's Behringer Corner.
We need to find them at NAMM, and we need to make a highlight reel before we get there.
Yeah. Yeah, and just be like, hey, check this out. We talk about you every week. Literally.
We just need some affiliate codes at the very least. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
The thing is, that's the cool thing. We're not sponsored by anyone, and the fact is, the reason they're on every week is because they're just absolutely killing it with what they're putting forward. So, hats off to them, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're not sponsored by them. Not because we don't want money and we don't want to survive, but because it just showcases that they're doing some cool stuff. And I think, in all honesty, what they're doing with bringing the retro stuff back is really exciting in a world where we could be going away from that old school, trying to find a way to bring it back and allow a whole new generation to play with that stuff and find new ways to use it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Affordably as well, which is kind of the big deal.
Of course. Yeah.
So that was it, and then I thought that was it, but about half an hour ago, I got sent this. So they're now making microphone clones based on the Sennheiser 906 609, which is that flat one that goes up against guitar cabs, and the Shure Beta 91A, which I recently bought one of and might now put it back on eBay because, my God, Behringer, what are you doing to me? And so they're now deciding to rip off exact clones of slightly obscure mics that aren't even that obscure. Like, this mic is the one that goes inside a kick drum and just gives it basically that Fear Factory sound. That clicky 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 sound. You put one of them in the drum and you go, oh, that's it. Right, okay, cool.
Awesome.
And this guitar cab mic is the Sennheiser one that's been used on thousands, millions of stages across the world. So, yeah, these pictures have come out. So we don't know when they're being released yet, but seeing as though there's that previous post from Behringer of, oh, by the way, we don't know yet, it's like, yeah, so
and then next
they'll
week
be coming out.
They're out now.
Yeah, there's actually one in your studio right now. Turn around. Dun, dun, dun. Ah, where did you come from? Yeah.
Yeah, that's that right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So, on to iPad news, because I do like talking about iPad news. I want to get back into doing more iPad production, so I will be doing in the new year. Hammond, the people who made the Hammond organ, with IK Multimedia, who make Amplitude and all that kind of stuff, have made apparently a super realistic Hammond B3 plugin for iPad. Oh. So it's all touch sensitive. You can plug a MIDI keyboard into it, so you can get actual like proper MIDI performance live. But the thing with Hammond organs is there's a lot of controls. There's a lot of things you can change, and having it all on a touch screen in front of you, I think is pretty cool.
And you don't need to even plug in a keyboard anymore. You can just put a Bluetooth dongle on your keyboard.
Yes, indeed. Using that thing we talked about last week, the
I was,
CME.
I was talking to Seb, one of our friends that's a drummer. He was doing a gig the other day with his synth pad. I was telling him about with his his pad. I was telling him about it because obviously he has an iPad Pro that he has the kind of the keyboard for, and it looks basically acts just like a laptop. And he was
Mm,
super interested in it because like for his setup, where he's just doing 2-man shows with just like a pad, it was like it could be absolutely
yeah.
brilliant. That sort of stuff.
Oh yeah. Having all the sound generated on the same iPad that he's using for his notes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that makes
it
it incredibly
when it's
portable.
self-powered, so all he's bringing is just like a satchel bag to a gig, and he's just got a USB dongle he shoves in the back of his device, and it's just wireless and Bluetooth, and he just puts his iPod on the side. Like that's really cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very clever.
very cool setup for that. But yeah, and this as well. I mean, again, having your own Hammond organ like wirelessly from your device,
Yeah.
like wow.
Yeah, and that's it. Like IK Multimedia, because they make Amplitude and all that kind of stuff. A lot of the iconic Hammond sounds, like through a Marshall stack or through other kind of amps, and they nail all that kind of modeling. So that'll be part and parcel of that. So if you suddenly want to sound like you're in Deep Purple, you press the Deep Purple button, and suddenly you're like, grrr, you're
Do you say
very angry.
amplitude?
Amplitude, yeah,
Amplitude.
yeah. Tube with a B. Tube.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Been using
amplitude.
Amplitude for a long time.
I thought you said
Used
amplitude.
Amplitude on the APY album.
Yeah, I remember. So it's just because I've
Yeah.
been doing some analytics for an app this week, and we're using amplitude as a
Oh.
benchmark for some of the app download stuff. So that's all. Through the name
Yeah,
of
okay.
well. That's why I was getting confused.
Fair enough. So there's that. Moving on. Talking about free stuff. I'm a big fan of Ozone, the mastering plugin from iZotope.
You are.
And one of the things that is part of it is the stereo imager, which can make things slightly more mono or slightly wider depending on your tastes. And for some reason, they've decided to release the stereo imager separately for free.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, that's now it's included in Ozone Elements and Ozone 9 Standard and Advanced. And now you can go to their website and put in your email address so they start marketing, spamming you, but that's the price you pay for free stuff. And you get free plugin. And it's a very good one if I do say so myself. Sometimes I actually use the Imager as a separate plugin outside of Ozone because you can use it for creative purposes. Like, say you've got 4 guitars going and you want 2 of them to pop out like super stereo. Then you can put the imager on just those 2 guitars, and instead of that being on mastering and screwing up everything, it just can give a slightly clever mix tool. Can be a very clever thing. So, back to Arturia again, but this one's not free. So, well, it's technically free. They've got a synth called Pigments, which is a very clever software synth. Kind of super modern, does all stuff like virtual analog and wavetable sampling, granular synthesis. Weird kind of granular synthesis is where you take little samples and chop them right up, so you end up with that like Aphex Twin type stuff.
Yep.
And so they've brought out a new version, and if you already own the old one, you can have that for free. And if you don't already own it, there's a special introductory price. So it's €99 if you didn't already own it until 7th of January. And it does lots and lots of weird stuff. We like weird stuff.
Bargain.
So I thought this was interesting that a company called Samples from Mars have sampled one of these really old, really weird drum machines, a German one called Dr. Boom. Hey, yeah, we have drum machine, Dr. Boom. And so most of the stuff that had classic drum machines on that we know was all British. It was done with a Linn drum. You'll know Don't You Want Me Baby by the Human League.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a Linn drum. That
Okay.
that a lot of classic stuff from that era is a Linn drum. But apparently in Germany they had a rival competitor from Dr. Boom. But looks more like a typewriter than a drum machine.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, apparently it's It's a 13-bit drum sampler
Nice.
from the early 80s. And yeah, it just has a very distinctive sound. So these guys have gone back and sampled it. Apparently the drums on it sound really human because they were sampled by a guy who knew what he was talking about, and he'd do things like the little clap samples. There were a few different ones, and they were slightly early or slightly late, and that kind of thing. So even if you programmed it perfectly to a grid, it would sound like humans had done it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, very, very clever. But things like the kick drum, for instance, the kick drum was perfectly on. So if you programmed it perfectly on, you got a perfect beat. But the more human bits, they did stuff like that. So yeah, it's all been sampled and is available for $14.50. So if you like the idea of a vintage synth drum machine that's a bit weird that nobody else has, go and get that now.
That sounds pretty good, though.
Yeah, and not too expensive. Right, so there is one thing about NAMM, but it's kind of a roundup, so I'm going to briefly gloss over it until we get nearer the time. But that's news, rumours, and roundups. So we've already said we're going to NAMM, if anybody wasn't tuned in at the start of the show. Yeah, it attracts 100,000 visitors each year, so it's essentially a town.
100,002 this year.
Yeah. What? So we're going to talk to everybody we can. It's open to lots and lots of people. Apparently Korg may be re-releasing the ARP 2600, which is that thing, which is a very classic synth. Yeah. How long until Behringer make a copy of that drum machine? Yes.
Oh, just in, Behringer have now made one.
Yeah. Behringer made the original. No, I don't know. And that's James in chat, who I had a very long conversation with last week. And we made a lovely video talking about why I've not made any more videos on the Raspberry Pi.
Ah, yes, you mentioned that.
So that's not been released to the public yet, but I may well do that tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Just to make sure that's out, because it's kind of a by-the-by video. It's not my usual Monday drop. And so, hello James, in the chat. What a lovely young man. So moving on from NAMM, from which we will be the attendings. There's some English in there somewhere. Sad news. One of the synth pioneers, Mr. Gershon Kingsley, has passed away, aged 97. And this guy was one of the original synth musicians. I mean, look at that monster. That's a Moog modular, and this guy
that is a beast.
Yeah, but this is back from the mid-60s when that was your only option. You didn't get one of them to be a hipster. You got one of them because you wanted a synth. You know the song Popcorn?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, he wrote that.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, he's written some really inspired stuff. Like, and you'll know Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth. That's actually essentially an entire lift. Yeah, it's an entire sample lift from a song that he made called Swan's Splashdown.
Nice.
Which, so very 60s. The album that was off was called In Sound from Way Out. Electronic pop music of the future, created by Perry and Kingsley. Wow.
The future.
Yeah. But that's like 10 years pre-Kraftwerk. So, yeah, real pioneering stuff. This is one of the guys who not just played with electronic stuff, but made it work with real instruments in actual band contexts as well. In the mid-60s, even before the Beatles were doing it. And so that's really impressive. And just to finish this, that's a picture of him with Dr. Bob Moog. So, at least I think it is. He's one of those two. Anyway, but yeah, he actually made the first Moog quartet. Where they'd go out and play shows live with 4 of these monsters.
Wow.
And a band. And it's like, wow.
Yes.
And then in 1970, no less. That's just damn impressive.
That is pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So, moving on from serious synth to serious rock. Status Quo, British rock and roll, who don't take themselves too seriously to the point where one of their albums recently was called The Fourth Chord. So Francis Rossi, for a number of years now, has been known for playing this one green Telecaster. And he decided to sell it. I believe this was a charity auction. Let's see where the thing was, if I can. It was sold by Bonhams. I can't see where it would say whether it was a charity or not, but he wasn't the only one selling on that day. KK Downing from Judas Priest was selling stuff as well, which gives me a very good clue that this was a big charity event. But yeah, this thing sold for over $150,000.
Wow. That's a lot of monies.
For a guitar from a guy who only plays 3 chords on it, that's pretty impressive. I kid, of course. They are actually quite talented. But he bought that Telecaster in 1968 for £75.
Wow.
And used it apparently on every one, pretty much, of Quo's singles and albums from 1970 up till 2015.
Jesus.
So yeah, if you like the sound of Status Quo, see if you can buy that off the guy who's just bought it. And then yeah, KK Downing from Judas Priest just sold this custom Hamer guitar for $36,000 as well, which is pretty bananas.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And he also sold a 12-string Zematis, which Zematis are very pretty guitars, which was commissioned by George Harrison for nearly $25,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not chump change.
No. Yeah, not a small amount. Entertainment memorabilia. Doesn't actually say what the sale was in aid of, but I can't see that just have been to go in their back pockets.
Couldn't comment.
Okay, moving on. From guitar to a guitar-related product, something that interested me. Do you ever find when you were playing guitar that your guitar cables would break?
Only when I stood on them.
Yes, but
did happen. Yeah.
That's pretty much what I'm getting at, is like the ends would break. Like
they'd bend slightly like that. It would be the main thing. You'd end up with a cable that was just at an angle like that quite often. Yeah.
So this is a product that made my eyebrow go up, called the Jack Savior. Okay. And the ends are really quite small and very well rubberized. Apparently it's 10 times stronger than a typical cord and plug. And I can see a picture of it. It's a lot thinner, but a lot more... there's a lot less sticking out at the end, which may be a big part of it, which means that there's less to lever on when you stand on it. And so I thought that was pretty interesting product. It's a Kickstarter, which raises an eyebrow. But, I mean, it looks physically larger and chunkier at the end, and much smaller and more flexible at the back. And I think, largely speaking, that's how guitar cables probably should be. A lot of the weight on them seems unnecessary. Yeah.
There's less pivot points for damage, basically. Yeah.
Pivot! Can't use that word without a reference.
You can't.
No. So, from guitar cables to a company that makes guitar cables, D'Addario.
Man, these transitions are seamless, Adam. Seamless. You are preparing for NAMM. Absolute pro. That's all I've got to say. Absolute pro.
Working on it all week, mate.
It takes a lot to prep.
You should see the waste paper basket with all the screwed up. From this to... No. Try again.
God damn it. That's such a sleepless night. How do I get from one to the other? Okay, so what's D'Addario doing then?
So now, former chief of D'Addario, Jim Diodario is stepping down from being CEO and becoming chairman of the board, which is, I'm guessing, more of an honorary role, and chief innovation officer. So he's doing less day-to-day stuff, which means that John Diodario III is becoming the new CEO.
So to me, that reads as he's stopping running the company and going back to trying to find what he loves about it. So I think he's bored with running the company and wants to just try and breathe some life back into it by getting his creativity back. Because Chief Innovation Officer basically means he gets to sit around all day and just come up with cool ideas for shit.
Yeah.
So
Which
basically, I
sounds
want to
like a pretty
retire.
cool thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm done doing the management of this all now. You can pick up the mantle, kid. And I'm just going to sit around and play golf and think about ideas for strings.
Sit in one of the world's coolest tool sheds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
My tool shed has every tool I could possibly want and a staff of 10. What does your tool shed have?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, the younger John Diodario apparently worked in shipping and then went up to operations and sales and has gone up to being president that way, which makes more sense, I guess, as the business CEO.
So this is so Diodario 3 is taking over from 2, who took over from 1?
I think you're right. I think that is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do believe that is because the Diodario family business has been going a long, long time.
I do find it fascinating when people name their kids after themselves. So they have the third. I've got nothing against it. It's just fascinating.
Especially when it's a girl. That raises further questions.
I've got it in my family. There's their initials are M and P, and I don't want to give the full name away because it's my nephew. But my nephew's name, therefore his initials are MP, and he's the third. So his nickname in the family is MP3.
That's terrible.
I know. That's his dad for you.
Yeah. And now the Fraunhofer Institute have sent him a letter for his early retirement. He's like, but I'm a teenager. Yeah. That joke will not translate into his older life because MP3s have been retired. And I've already talked to kids where you say MP3 and they go, what?
Really? What? MP3s
Yeah,
have been
really.
retired? Have I missed this?
The Fraunhofer Institute have officially made it open source and they don't support it anymore. There are much better formats out there now. The MP3 format's over 20 years old.
Whoa, I'm old.
The encoding of MP3 is like ancient technology.
Wait, so the files that I have on my Apple Music, what are they?
They are M4A. They are based on the AAC codec.
Ah, because I just realised that I haven't actually touched an audio file other than when I've been in the studio for God knows how long. Like all my music is all just streamed, and I had Spotify, now I have Apple Music. Like my old hard drives of music have long been lost somewhere in the office with the sea of hard drives that is down there.
Yeah. We effectively have a digital swamp somewhere.
It's a graveyard. It's a digital graveyard with the amount of hard drives we have with stuff on.
Where music goes to die.
Yeah, I deleted like 4 terabytes worth of stuff off one of our projects the other day.
Woof.
Yeah. Well, it's the backup of the Aragon hard drive. Like, we still have 2 of them.
Wow.
So, like, we've got the white one, which is the backup. This is a motorbike DVD that we did like 6 years ago now. And we've already sent the raw footage to the client of what he wanted. So there's no reason to keep it. But we just hate deleting stuff. And this is the backup. So I was like, okay, I need some space for project we're doing with the Warrior Collective. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to clear this. But I still couldn't get rid of the Aragon stuff. Because that was all like the behind the scenes, cool, sort of fun, like real world stuff. I thought, I'm just going to keep that, even though we already backed it up 3 times. I still couldn't delete it.
How very Aragon of you.
Hey.
Yeah, so, the company's going to shift a little bit, I guess, over time.
Napster did rule. Sorry, Marty, you're right. Napster was awesome. Spending all night to download one album on the 56k modem. Oh, I remember.
Never used it.
You never had Napster?
Nope, I used LimeWire. I used SoulSeek.
Yeah, Napster was first though, so you were late there. Not by much, but LimeWire Napster were together, but I remember Napster. Oh, at least in my world, in my head anyway, Napster was before LimeWire.
You had internet in your house though. I had to go out to the back to the shed.
That's true. We had to get an extra phone line so we could download music. Remember, what was it? It was Offspring's Americana album. It was
Yeah.
around about the same time, so I remember downloading that off Napster, and it would take me all evening to do it, just one album, but it was worth it.
Yeah. I
Downloading
remember
videos
when
and stuff didn't happen.
I remember when we got ISDN, 64 kilobit. That was a big deal.
Yeah. You and Seb had ISDN, and I was stuck with 56k until broadband came out.
Yeah, but I was only allowed to access it at a certain time, so it swings and roundabouts.
But I mean, it's just a crazy time. You'd still
Oh,
go
and
into like you download stuff, but you still go into like Manchester and buy your CDs because there's still nothing like having a CD.
yeah, but
E-donkey.
oh god, yeah. eDonkey, I don't think I used that, but a lot of those with silly names are all based on the Nutella network.
Yeah.
So they all essentially use the same thing. But then after that, yeah, I moved on to SoulSeek when I moved to university because there were 2,000 of us living on the same campus, and you could actually download straight over the LAN network using that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah, we used to have. Oh, what was? No, there was because obviously there was iTunes and there was Retune. What's it called?
oh, I had one called Our Tunes.
Yeah, there was something like that where basically it meant that you could just find everyone's iTunes like files, and
And
like
just
you didn't
nip
realize, but you're broadcasting them to everyone on your network without realizing. Yeah, and you
Yeah,
could just download them all.
that was how I found Dream Theater.
Wow. I think I probably found quite a bit. But
Yeah,
it was
one,
amazing.
one,
You could go to the you went to the international student dorm, where one of my friends was, and all the international students came back from China, just had literally everything and every movie ever. So you'd go on that network, and they would literally have everything. And then around about that time, that Napster was then on the news, and they got like in before the Senate or whatever it was happening in America, and everyone was like, "Yeah, so this is we're gonna call this internet piracy, and this is illegal now." You're like, "Oh right, yeah, we're stealing." Hadn't realized that. No one had actually caught on to the fact that this is not probably okay because everyone's just
mm,
sharing music and not really contemplating it until Napster got shut down, and then LimeWire and all those things found a new way out. But for me, I remember thinking it didn't feel like I was stealing from anyone.
mm. Yeah, it was a
100
pretty wild time.
megabit when everyone had 56k. What the hell?
He lives in another country. They have weird stuff in Europe.
Hello, heavy metal mixer.
Yes, hello. Welcome.
Back in the day. And then I started making content myself and realizing that piracy is really bad for content creators and stopped doing it. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. We're
Indeed.
getting on to. Usually we've got one and finally topic in the week. This week we've got two. So, No Man's Sky. You can create your own tunes. Basically, there's a DAW inside of No Man's Sky. I think that's pretty cool.
What?
You play No Man's Sky, right?
I have some hours in No Man's Sky.
Yeah, so new update 2.24. There's a thing called Byte Beat.
Yeah, I've got 100 hours in No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, I haven't had time to play the last big update, the next update, where they just redid everything and added proper multiplayer and stuff. Like, yeah, the music in that game is brilliant though as well. Like, so it doesn't actually surprise me that they've done something like this because it ties in with what they're doing in the creative element. But this is cool. So
Yeah.
Steam was lets you play and create beats inside the game. Build a drum machine arpeggiator. We're gonna have to do some stuff with this.
Yeah, with randomization as well.
Mm.
Multiple devices can be linked to create an ensemble of synthesized sounds. You know someone's going to go OTT with this.
Oh, the No Man's Sky subreddit already people do crazy stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, well the fact that they've made it stackable means that somebody's going to be doing like entire orchestral scores on this.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Dizzy Rascal made his first album on a PlayStation 1 using Music 2000.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a callback.
Yeah, I remember using that, yeah.
Yeah, I think the point of that is that people can make full tracks using stuff like Byte Beat.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I mean, you can make working computers inside of Minecraft, so why not? Someone's
Indeed.
going to make it so complicated it'll make all bleeps and bloops that you can load a Commodore 64 game off it.
Yeah. Yeah, James was saying the same thing about LimeWire. Yeah, as a kid, you just didn't realize it just wasn't a thing. It was so new. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Hmm.
How
I
much,
knew full well that it was piracy, but I had a stack of albums in my house so big that I didn't care. My mum and dad were crazy about new music, and still kind of are.
Mhm.
They're some of the few people that I know that just buy everything on CD.
Mhm. But still,
So, yeah, I know.
can you buy music on CD still?
Mostly.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not the big thing it used to be.
No.
But, yeah, most people, like, my mum, for better or worse, has every Ed Sheeran thing on CD.
Oh wow.
That's a stack, because he used to make, like, EPs and mixtapes and all sorts of stuff, so...
Mhm.
Yeah, she's a bit of a super fan. It's just an example.
Mhm.
But yeah, everything. CD, all of it.
Does it say
Crazy.
how you get this thing? Induced? No, it says that you do it. It is one. Okay.
It's just an in-game device and it exists. Just updates the new version. And it'll just
I
be there, I guess.
auto updated. The game is already updated.
Right. So make me a tune this evening.
On it.
Let's have a look. Oh, yes.
Loading up.
Already doing it. Yes. CDs are much better quality than the streaming garbage nowadays. I disagree. This is what I was saying about MP3 being a retired format. AAC, which is what's used now, is a far superior compression algorithm. And at high enough qualities, and of course in Spotify you can choose higher bit rates if you pay for the premium, are practically indistinguishable from uncompressed audio. Of course there's a difference, but you really, really, really having to get down to the minutiae now.
Yeah, whether you
And
can
so,
actually
yeah,
physically tell the difference.
yeah. So it's a long held belief that CDs are better than streaming, but if you've got a high quality streaming service, it's not as different as you think it is. Yeah, it's one of those things. So, final piece of news. So this guy, Circle of Tone, I've never really watched his videos, but I've heard tell of him quite a lot. And apparently he tells you how other guitarists are getting their sounds. And he found somewhere on YouTube or wherever that Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath had used this particular setting and this particular amp and this particular setup. And Tony Iommi himself shared the video with the quote over the top, totally wrong information about blah 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 blah. Where did they get it from? So basically, Tony Iommi's roasted him himself. The god of metal's basically just gone. You don't know what you're talking about. Woof.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Wah, wah,
but it just
wow.
goes to show if you're gonna make a video, don't go telling people this is how it should be. Just say like, as far as I know, this is the best way to do
Yeah.
this.
I've got a similar sound. It sounds like this, and this is what I did.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Tony Iommi had a left-handed guitar right from the start, and things like that. I mean, people say, "Oh, there's not many left-handed guitars going right now." No, Tony Iommi was a steel mill worker. He had a bit of money. He wasn't what I'd describe as rich, but he had enough money to pay for a proper guitar. So there's things. Yeah, that's just an example, but yeah. I might watch one of his videos, see what he's like.
See what he's up to.
Yeah. See if he's at NAMM.
Okay, so because of the latest update, I can't get into my spaceship, let alone get to my base. So I'm gonna give
What?
up on doing that. It
You
won't let
can't
me
get
into
in
my
your spaceship.
No,
Why not?
I have no idea. It has the icon saying to enter, and it won't let me. So
Maybe you
it's
need to
really bad
pay.
because I'm on a planet that has really bad hazard radiation, and it takes me 2 minutes before I'll be dead. So I'm just gonna close that
Oh.
down for now. See what's gonna happen.
What happens if you die? Do you not wake up in your spaceship?
I don't remember whether that's a permadeath version that I loaded up or not, so I'm just gonna close that one down and find out. I think that you just end up with a tombstone and you drop your resources and you can come back and get them. But I don't know where I am. I don't know what world I'm in. I don't know if I have whether I was in the middle of it because it's been about 6 months since I played. Whether I was exploring a far off universe and therefore I'm going to come back literally light years away from where I was because it's a huge game. Like you can literally travel for days, like real time days, and like it's an infinite procedural generated universe. So
Sounds like a story of my life.
Mm.
Everything's changed. I don't know where I am. What's happening?
Indeed.
Yes. Right. So that brings us to the end of the news. Yes. So, like I said, thank you to everybody who hit like at the start of the video. That's really appreciated. Helps us to spread the word far and wide.
Indeed.
And we are brought to you partly by Patreon, because Patreon helps us to do cool things like going to NAMM. There's a bit of support there. And so we try and give back to you wherever we can. If you want to help us out on Patreon, you get to see the videos early. You get special access to our Discord. You get all sorts of cool things wherever we can. And so if you've not already looked at our Patreon, please do, because it really helps us out. Thank you, everybody.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so it's question time, ladies and gentlemen. I know my voice is going. But if anybody's got any music tech questions, whether nerdy or whether guitar-y or whether in between somewhere, now's a good time to get them in, and we'll see if we can answer them for you before we disappear.
And this is the last stream of the year as well, so.
Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last stream of the year. It is the 19th of December already, and next Thursday is, I believe that's Boxing Day.
Boxing Day, yep.
Yep. So I won't even be in. Yes. Have at you, sir. Mm-hmm. Yes. I'll be on the other side of the country, so that'll be difficult to do that at best.
Indeed.
Yes. And also tonight I need to get back to fixing my PC. I decided to upgrade my boot SSD from a 250 gig to a 500.
Ooh, sexy.
Which is, well, no longer crashy because I'm no longer filling the drive. And yeah, so that's been great, except that it took me 3 different times to boot it, and now my other SSD that was plugged in won't even show. So I need to hit that harder with a different type of hammer, I think. Don't have an Arturia affiliate link yet. No, I'll talk to them actually. I had forgotten that was a possibility of a thing. Yeah, so I'll sort that out if anyone's interested in getting any stuff from Arturia, and I'm sure they'll have new stuff to announce at NAMM as well, so I will send them an email after this to see, and if I do get an Arturia affiliate link, I will post that in the description of the video afterwards.
Sounds good.
Yes. Any more questions? Now's a good time to get them in. Anything like mic positioning, drum micing, guitar tuning, which way the wind blows on a Wednesday.
How to record good audio on an airplane.
Oh, good God. On an airplane. Get a Rhodopod mic, scream into it like this.
Okay.
Like, just turn the gain down and have it really, really close.
Okay.
And just block out all outside noise.
I'll test it in about a month's time and let you know how it goes.
Yeah, just scream into it. We're on a plane! And then everybody watching afterwards will be like, geez, no need to shout, it was quiet. Use one of the SATA SSD copy boxes. That wouldn't work for me because the drives I'm copying it with are M-SATA, micro SATA, which is no longer a thing. I had to search quite hard to find a replacement hard drive because my laptop's the last generation that doesn't use M2 drives, which are the new rather nice format.
That's the little ones.
Yeah, so mine's the little ones. If you've ever pulled one, that's an M-SATA. Is that out the bottom of the Drobo?
No.
I may recognise it.
Yeah, it was when the Drobo was failing, and we thought it could be that, so I took it out and I never put it back in again because it's working. So don't touch
Yeah,
it.
yes, absolutely good shout. So that's an M-SATA drive. That's the same type that I've got. M2 is the newer one that's more long. It's like a stick of gum type shape.
So you can't use that in your laptop that you need then. It's 120 gig.
A 120, you say?
Yeah.
No. So I've already just had to go up from a 250 to a 500. Yeah. But my laptop's got two M-SATA ports and two regular SATA ports. It's a hell of a thing.
It's a beast.
Oh, jeez. So it's not even got the Blu-ray drive in now, and it already weighs about, I think it's £9. Oh, it's a chunky monkey. And yeah, so this thing's an absolute beast. I mean, look at the thickness of it. But this is powerful enough that I can do 4K video editing from NAM. Which is very much the intention if the thing
that's one thing I'm struggling for at the moment is a decent laptop. Like all I've got is my Surface Pro 2, which just doesn't cut the mustard.
There's so much money.
Yeah.
Just save money and don't.
I too have laptops just lying around. Like, here we go. This is an Intel Celeron i4.
Wow.
Not an i4, Celeron, sorry. And this is a second generation i5, but it is a tablet. But yeah.
Just put a donk on it.
Yeah, absolutely useless for any sort of stuff that we want to do.
I've been looking at upgrading this laptop a little more because I'm almost at the absolute limit of upgrades with it. I think I could put a GeForce 1060 in there.
Okay.
But the mobile versions are about £350. So I'm looking at it going, woof. But for that kind of money, I could probably just save it and wait.
I was really tempted to get one of the Surfaces from Scan in the Black Friday sales because they were doing pretty decent ones, but yeah, money.
Yeah, that's it. And I do really need a fire-breathing monster for what I do because I've basically abandoned doing stuff on a desktop at home now. I'm on a desktop computer right now that's barely keeping up with doing the stream. There's actually a Linux box, which means that Adobe is out. Although Adobe apparently behind the scenes have said to quite a few people that they're making an ARM version of most of their stuff now.
Well, Photoshop's out on iPad.
Yes.
Full Photoshop.
Which means it can't be far off any other ARM device. Because the binaries can't be that different. Well, that's the idea anyway.
Hello, Vancouver.
Yes. Hello from Vancouver. I do like Vancouver.
Pavement tiles. Yeah, you know you're a proper nerd when you just have like random crap. Like, I don't know, there's an SSD just around here as well. Random hard drives.
Yeah. What have I got? RAM. Just sticks of memory.
It's not a proper setup unless you've just got random tech. And like, I mean, having an MSATA like hard drive lying around is pretty pathetic.
Yep. Secondary webcam in case the other one's not working. What else have I got on this shelf here? Blu-ray drive out of my laptop. Yes, ladies and gents, my laptop has a Blu-ray drive.
Oh god! Don't make me go dig out my HD DVD drive.
You've got the Xbox 360 HD DVD drive. Oh, maximum nerdery.
I've recently, I have a cable drawer here, and I've recently cleared it out of all the like serial cables and parallel cables and stuff that were in here. I was like, yeah, they should probably go in the attic because I'm probably never using them again, but I'll keep them just in case.
That's it. I mean, I've just got my new favourite purchase, which is a pack of micro screwdrivers that are making me very happy right now.
Oh, I used to have a pack of them, and then you borrowed them once.
Yeah, my fault, sure. Yours were yellow.
Yeah, no, and they disappeared. They are in this building somewhere.
Yeah.
Very similar. They had. There was more. And you didn't lose them. You gave them back to me, and then they disappeared.
Yeah, somebody ate
in the building. Yeah, they did. They were amazing, them, because it had like literally there was like 20 in there, tiny ones, going down to like the smallest little star head screwdriver.
Yeah, I needed bigger, chunkier ones that I could get some real leverage on.
I think I got them from like the counter at Scan or something though. Like it was one of those like impulse purchases. I was like, ooh, they may be useful.
Yeah. You know, we're in Nerdvana when we've got all this random stuff lying around. On the floor here, I've got 2 spare mice, 2 spare sets of headphones, a full-size torch. I need to take this back to the studio because this is usually at the studio. Full-size, proper
Battery
maglite
tester?
torch. Battery tester, yes.
Yeah.
What else have I got around here? 3 guitars behind me.
It's like they're kind of like showing your desktop stuff, but like even where here you go. Mini 32-in-1 retro gaming console.
Nice. I've got flux core solder on my desk. That's pretty high grade nerd right there when you've just got a roll of solder.
Do you have a full set of spare keycaps for your keyboard?
No, that's some real nerd stuff.
Oh, actual PCBs and stuff. There you go.
Wow.
I win.
Oh, is that all the Arduino stuff and?
No, actually, it's an old client of ours that they used to manufacture this stuff, and this is some of their sample sets, so they can factory mold like this, which has got a spring in it, and they can factory mold that in like 2 pieces, and it comes together. So this was all this like clever stuff they can do whilst it looks really boring. Like
Yeah.
it can be done in just one production run rather than having to like put it all together. Because these like actually really quite complicated molds, and they can do it in one mold and print. So really, really nerdy stuff. It just looks like a piece of plastic.
Yeah. And of course, I can match your M-SATA drive with another M-SATA drive. But yeah, I mean,
Lego version of myself.
It's a Lego version of me next to it?
No, the Lego version of you is downstairs. I just have me and my wife next to each other upstairs. You are still downstairs, though. You have not been forgotten.
Multiple Lego clones.
Yes.
Oh, that could get complicated quickly. Anyway, I think that's time to call it.
Yeah, I think we're sidebarring it, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, aluminium replacement knobs for my Helix and Silver. Nice.
Yeah. I think my mouse stopped working sheer out of jealousy. This is why I have 2 active mice on the same desktop. There we go. Okay, so I think that is time for everything this evening. So I'll be uploading this on iTunes very shortly. So, which makes no sense if you're hearing this on iTunes right now, but you get the gist. And of course, the last 10 minutes will have been completely pointless to you as well.
Yeah. You just close your eyes and use your imagination.
Yeah. Look at this thing I've got. It's amazing.
Well, if you're watching it on iTunes and you're really intrigued, then go to YouTube and watch the video.
Yeah, tune in.
And like the video.
Yes, like. And maybe share it and maybe subscribe.
Definitely subscribe. Because then
Like,
you get all the updates. And you can get your stories now as well.
Yes, I've not done many of them because I'm always wary of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's alright. I shall help you with that stuff.
Yes, she'll hit me with a stick. Make story. What? Okay, fine. Yeah.
Cool. Right, well, when we see you all next, we will be prepping for NAMM because it will be
indeed.
Weeks before we go.
Yeah, so we'll be back January 2nd, which is the Thursday as per usual. And so I'll be exhausted because I'll be working very, very hard over the next few weeks. But yeah, we'll tune in, we'll turn on, and we'll probably go, ah!
Indeed.
Make a sturdy program for NAMM and edit and upload while you're there. I'll try my best.
We've done stuff like we've edited on the train back from locations before. Like,
yeah,
depends on the content really and what we're shooting, what we're doing. It's completely feasible. It's just about what we're doing really.
Yeah, but yeah, if we've got a decent edit machine with us, we'll do what we can. It'll be possible.
Or I will have my computer left on at home. We can team view it into it.
Yeah.
I've also done that before as well.
It's going to be a hell of a thing.
Okay, have a great Christmas, everyone, and a great New Year. Be safe, have fun, and yeah, we'll see you in 2020.
Happy New Christmas year, everybody. And we'll
See you later.
see you later.